Samuel Leeds.
All right. Wow. This better be good after that, right? Wow. Okay. So Raj says I've not been investing too long. I mean, geez, I've been investing a long time for me. I bought my first house when I was 17. I'm now 28. So I've been investing just over a decade. Last year I bought a castle, a no money down castle. You know, so if you're skeptical around no money down, yes, it works. I think that's why they've got 3 of us up. I'm doing no money down deals regularly, residential. We've got 3 speakers all about no money down. So just out of curiosity, if you've ever bought a house without using any of your own money, just raise your hand. All right, not many. Like, mostly my students. Like 10 people, okay. If you'd like to buy a house using none of your own money, raise your hand. That's why you're here, right? Okay, cool. So residential, what are some of the ways you can buy a house without using any of your own money in residential?
Lease option.
Lease option, okay, cool. What else? What's that?
Joint venture.
A joint venture, yeah. Bridging, maybe, yeah. Angels. What's going on? Are we okay? I know how to find good houses. I'm really good at finding houses. But I haven't got any money. Is it possible? Is it just possible that someone might have money, but it sucks at finding deals? Yes or no?
Yes.
So a way to buy a house without using any of your own money would be, well, I'm really good at finding houses. You're really good at saving money. Maybe I'll find the house, you put the money in, and we'll do a profit share. That's called joint venture. It's just this is very easy. What else? A lease option, yeah, lease option. Okay, so lease option would be you buy a house now and you agree to pay for it later. I'll buy it now, I'll pay for it later. Now, I've not got too long. I mean, I've just got to focus on one. We're doing a Q&A afterwards. Love lease option agreements. If I buy a holiday now, because people do this, they'll buy a holiday on their credit card or whatever, and they'll agree to pay for the holiday later. The problem with that is when you go to pay for it, the holiday's gone. So the suntan's worn off, the holiday's finished, you still got to pay for it. That's a problem. If you buy a house now, but you agree to pay for it later, by the time you go to pay for it later, what typically happens to house prices? Do they tend to go up or down?
Go up.
Up. So again, simple. So you agree to buy a house now, but you agree to pay for it later, and there's a fair chance that by the time you go to pay for it, it goes up. This is how I made most of my money in property. When I was 17 years old and I had no money, I just put offers on properties on the condition that I'd pay for it later. That's how I built my portfolio. And now I've got a very big portfolio. And when I went to pay for it later, it had gone up in value. So that's the first way you get paid. Second way you get paid with lease option agreement. Well, how do you get paid when you buy a house?
Cash flow.
Cash flow. So you buy a house and you do what with it? Rent it out, and you get paid cash flow. Again, when you agree to buy a house now, but you say you'll pay for it later, you get the cash flow. So I don't know why people put deposits down. I think it's what we're taught by society. We're taught to go to school, get a job, save up money, put it in the bank, buy a house, pay off the mortgage as quickly as possible. And it's the most ludicrous thing that you could do. And that's why people like Ranjan put these networking events on, and why I come and speak and share at these events, because we're tired of people being told their whole life they have to work hard, save up money, put it in the bank. So I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about lease option agreements, how you can find a lease option agreement, then we're going to got a couple more speakers, and then we're going to do a Q&A in a bit. So far, how am I doing? Am I doing okay? Yeah. Can I keep going? Yes or no, guys? Yeah. All right, thank you. So how do you find, why would anyone want you to have their house? Yeah, you can have my house. Oh, and you can pay me later, that's no problem. Why would anybody do that? Negative equity, yeah, maybe. So around about 2006, the banks were giving out 100% mortgages. I got in around about 2008. So people had a big high mortgage. The value of the house might be 100, the mortgage is 100. The value of the house drops, the mortgage is higher than the value of the house. Then this person wants to sell the house because they have a change of circumstances. Maybe they're moving abroad, they split up with their wife, or for whatever reason they want to sell. And then they put it on the market, and they put it on for, it's dropped, so they put it on for the value, the overinflated price of 100,000, and no one offers to buy it. It's too expensive. I'll give you 80,000. But the mortgage outstanding is 100,000. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So in that situation, you become stuck because your mortgage is higher than your value. So you're stuck. And then someone like me comes along and says, I'll give you the full asking price 100, even though it's not worth 100, even though it's been on Rightmove for 2 years. I'll give you 100 in 7 years to give the market a chance to recover. But right now, I'll take over your mortgage payments and I'll basically become the landlord. From their point of view, they're then able to move on with their life. You then immediately benefit from the cash flow and the capital appreciation. Now, the exciting thing is, that's how I started out 10 years ago. That's how I started building my portfolio. Right now, online, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that are stuck in this situation whereby they've got negative equity. There are hundreds. And if we had time, I'd jump online right now. I would find some, I would phone them, and I would secure a deal in front of you. That's how good I am, and that's how many there are that are stuck. And this is what I do. I do it on YouTube. I do it all the time. If you've been to this is it. I just go online, find these people that are stuck, and say, hey, I'll give you the price you want, but I'll pay on my terms, or I'll give the price I want, but I'll pay on your terms. That's it. That's lease option agreement. Buy it now, pay for it later. So find them, people in negative equity. You can find them online, hundreds of them. How do you speak to them? Again, I would just use that line. I would say, I can give you 100% of the value, but I'll pay on my terms, or I can give you payment on your terms, but 80% of the price. Not only does this work in England, Scotland, the rules were a little different, and all the Scots are like, oh my gosh, we can't do this. You can just do it in Middlesbrough. Okay? But then I wouldn't be able to manage it though. You shouldn't manage it in the first place, because that's not passive income. Passive income is when you buy a property and you use a management company to rent it out. You can do this in England, you can do it in many parts of the UK, but you can do this in many parts of the world as well. I went to an airport last year. I got my phone out on a Facebook Live, literally, and said, what country do you want me to go to? And I'll go right now and I'll buy a house without using any of my own money. Because I know how many different strategies there are to buy houses without using any of your own money. And they picked New York. I went to New York in America, secured a property using exactly what I just said. Secured a no money down lease option agreement in America, documented the whole thing for free on YouTube, just because I enjoy exposing the myths of the banks, the education systems, and the schools that teach, get a job, work hard, pay off the mortgage. That sucks. So I'm glad you're here. Thanks for listening. I look forward to the Q&A. And if you want to selfie with me later, I'm around, or you want to have a chat, I'll stick around. And thanks again for having me, Ranjan and the team. Thank you. Thanks.